guys, welcome back to another Sunday reset where we plan, shop and prep for my family of 6. It's so crazy saying that, but little Harvey is now with us. So he is 7 weeks old, just over 7 weeks old. And obviously he doesn't eat anything, but he's contributing to like the grocery bill. So as always, I'm gonna have all the breakdown and everything for you, but I'm so excited to get stuck into it. And thank you for your patience on here while I've been adjusting to having 4 children. We also had school holidays and all of that in the mix. So today what we're going to be doing, I'm going to prepare one dinner. So I'm going to be preparing some roast vegetable soup, which is perfect. It's quite cold out today, so we're going to be eating that tonight. The kids are really excited. So I'm going to be preparing that one. So even though I don't need to pack work lunches or breakfast because I am home with the kids, I still haven't been prioritizing making like a really good lunch and a really good breakfast. I just kind of eat on the go, or don't eat, or have like a lactation cookie and call that breakfast. But anyway, so I'm going to get stuck into making some lunches and some breakfast options for me. And I'm starting it off, you have seen me make this a few times on here, I'm sure, but I'm making some protein pancakes. I've just been craving those lately. They're also really easy to meal prep. And yeah, I want to get my protein goals in as well. So I'm going to be putting some protein powder in that, as well as some protein yogurt, but we'll get stuck into that. And for lunches, I'm going to be making like a kind of like a Mexican beef bowl. I've seen like variations of this on like TikTok and things like that, but instead of using like hot honey, I'm going to use the cottage cheese, some avocado, like a taco flavored mince, and then kind of make up a bowl each day. But I'm going to prepare the mince ready for that and the other ingredients to get that ready. And for snacks, I'm going to make some ham and cheese rolls for the kids because they're back at school in kinder for the lunch boxes. Cut up all my fruit and veg like I normally do. I'm going to be making some gummies. I actually bought some of these like Nutri-Organic different flavors of these like gutsy gummies. So they're like gut-loving snacks. So I'm going to be making some gummies. I'm gonna make some hard-boiled eggs, and if I have the time or if Harvey lets me, he's currently sleeping at the moment. If he lets me, then I'm gonna be making some peanut butter cookies as well. So that's what we're gonna get stuck into. I've just brought all the groceries home, so I'm just gonna, like always, put it on the bench. We're gonna start with washing the fruit and vegetables, and then we're gonna get stuck into it. Looking at what I've got to prep, I actually will probably, when the fruit and veg is washing, I'm going to start with the roast vegetable soup and also the gutsy gummies. So these just need to go in the fridge for 2 hours. So it doesn't matter if it goes over or anything, but I don't want to be prepping for 2 hours. So I'm going to see how long it takes me to get through all of this, but hopefully not too long. If you've been following me for a while, you know that I always start with the recipe that's going to take the longest. So even though the roast vegetable soup has barely any prep, I basically just have to wash the veg, cut it up, season it, put it in the oven. Because it has to cook for a while, I just want to get that on first so that I can do everything else, and then when the veg is all cooked, I'm going to be turning that into the soup. The beef will take minimal time. I'm also going to do the pancake bowls after the soup, just so I can get that in the oven as well. And then pretty much everything else, I'll get the rolls done, and then everything else can be done while that's all cooked. So let's get started by bringing in all the groceries, wash the fruit and veg, and get stuck into it. So my entire order from Coles came to $250.72. So I normally budget $350 for a family of 5. I'm thinking of upping that to either $375 or $400 a week as a family of 6, even though I'm contemplating it because Harvey technically doesn't eat any food and he is breastfed, but it's just the extra nappies and the cost of everything going up. But I'm still sticking to the $350 at the moment as a family of 6. So today's shop from Coles came to $250.72. Obviously that's like $100 under budget, but it is because I did a deep dive into the fridge, freezer and pantry. So $250 is really good, but obviously I saved a lot on buying meat because I've basically got my whole week's worth of meat already in the freezer. And yeah, then I have a vegetarian option there as well. So that's pretty much it. The only meat that I did buy was like some deli meat, but I haven't actually bought meat for my lunches or dinners. So yep, if you do need a lower spend week, please go through your fridge, freezer and pantry and use up whatever you can. I often have to do this if we've had like a couple big bills come in, or if I just want to challenge myself to stay quite significantly under budget, then I'll try and get whatever I can from the fridge, freezer, or pantry and make do with what we've got. Even if it's not your preference for a dinner that week or a lunch, sometimes you just have to use it up, get rid of it, and that way you're not wasting any food, you're saving money, and yeah, that's another tip. So I'm just gonna unpack it now and then I'll show you what I've got. Always gotta make sure that the eggs are not cracked. So there is $250 worth of groceries for this week. So here's our dairy. So we've got some milk. We go through quite a bit of milk. I've got 2 types of yogurt. This one's going to be for the cheese and bacon rolls or cheese and ham rolls. We've got just some yogurt pouches that are easy to grab and go. And then we've got some yogurt tub there. Some baby bell cheese for the kids. This is part of the veggies. So we've got quite a few veggies, which is good. These are really good for kids' lunchboxes and snacks. We like those. This is going to be soup. There's quite a bit of soup things here, and then veggies throughout the week with some meat. I've got some wraps for the kids' lunches as well. We've got some chicken loaf, and then we've got quite a bit of fruit. So I've got watermelon, pineapple, I've got 2 different types of apples. I've got some nanas, mandarins, grapefruit. My daughter loves grapefruit. I've got lots of strawberries there. And then this is the everything else category. So I see how I didn't need very much this week. That's all I needed this week because we do have other things in the pantry to use up. And yeah, got a couple of snacks for the kids. We only had to buy a little bit of cereal this week because we still got quite a bit from a big Costco shop I did a while ago. And then other things that I'm adding to meals this week is also coming from the pantry. So we've got quite a bit in the pantry, fridge and freezer this week. So that is our shop. So that was the $250. If you've been watching my videos for a while, you know that I try to be as efficient as I can with time. So that involves multitasking, lots of multitasking. So for example, I've got all the food here. Naturally, you just want to start putting everything away. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill the sink with some cool water and some fruit and veg wash. I use the Koala natural fruit and veg wash. If you don't have any of this, you can also use just like white vinegar, or you can use some bicarb soda. So any of those work, but I just have lots of this and I do like this. So I'm going to fill the sink with some cool water and a little squirt of this. I'm going to start washing my fruit and veg because I do need it straight away to get on to the soup. So that way I am saving time by doing that first. As that's soaking, I'm going to put everything else away, and then that means I can get straight into the soup as soon as they're done. I like to give the sink a bit of a clean first. Again, if you don't like the thought of washing in the sink, then you can use like a little strucket or a bowl. But because I have so much to wash, I just clean my sink and I put it in here. Here's another tip when washing your fruit and veg. If you've got little things like this, any type of berries or smaller things, then you can just put it in like a strainer or a colander and then straight into the water. So I'm going to let all the fruit and veg soak for about 10 minutes. Strawberries only need 1 to 2 minutes. I'm going to get that out really soon. And that's all they need. Otherwise they can go mushy and waterlogged. So only 1 to 2 minutes. So I've got the fruit and veg soaking. I'm going to start putting everything else away. So obviously these need to go in the fridge as soon as possible because they're dairy. I'm going to go put some of the household essentials away. And then I'm going to keep out whatever I'm going to be using straight away or in today's meal prep. Everything else can be put away, either dispensed into containers or straight into the fridge, freezer or pantry, wherever it's going. So I've just put everything away that I don't need to use today. I am still washing the fruit and veg. It's got about 2 more minutes and then I'll get all of that out. Just behind me here, I'm gonna start getting out all the ingredients that I'm gonna need for the different meals to make. I just find getting it all out, ready to go within arm's reach. When you start your like meal prep, it just flows really fast from there. It's a good time management skill as well. And there's nothing worse than starting a recipe and then getting halfway through and realizing you don't have one of the ingredients. So that kind of saves that dilemma as well. So I'm now gonna just get everything out ready on the bench and then we're gonna start prepping. Alright, so the first one we're going to do today is the roast vegetable soup. This is one of the easiest soups you'll make. Basically, you can chuck in any vegetables that you have. These are the ones that I'm going to be doing today. So I've got some eggplant, some zucchini, some carrot, some onion, garlic, some whole tomatoes, and some capsicum, and some cauliflower. I'm just going to chop it all up and drizzle with olive oil and some spices. I'm going to bake it in some baking trays in the oven, and then at the end we're going to blitz together with some veggie stock and some coconut cream. There's no need to peel anything as well. You don't need to peel the carrots or the zucchini or anything like that. I normally use a large eggplant, but they didn't have any, so I've got these Lebanese eggplants. With the softer vegetables, I like to cut them a bit bigger and the carrots a little bit smaller, just so that it cooks evenly. Tomatoes, I'm going to leave them whole. With the garlic, I'm just going to cut the top off and leave it like that, drizzle it with olive oil, and then later on I'm going to squeeze out the garlic cloves. Now what we're going to do is drizzle with olive oil and some spices. I'm going to do some salt. I'm going to do some pepper. Then I'm going to do a tablespoon of oregano, and I'm going to do half a tablespoon each tray. Tablespoon of thyme, tablespoon of parsley, tablespoon of cumin, and tablespoon of paprika. And I'm just going to mix that up. So I'm going to roast this in the oven at about 180 degrees Celsius for about 45 minutes to an hour. I check on it at about 45 minutes, and sometimes it needs a little bit longer, but I'll see how we go. Next, we're going to be making one of my favorite morning breakfasts, and it is baked pancakes. I love raspberry and dark chocolate in it, but you can do it like so many different ways. You can add peanut butter, you can do Biscoff, you could do banana in it. You can kind of do anything. You can do blueberries and white chocolate, whatever you want, but that's my favorite flavor. So I'm gonna get started. So I'm gonna be making 5 for Monday to Friday, and I'm gonna be putting it all in this bowl and then putting them in their individual containers to bake. So you can do 5 eggs. I'm just gonna add some scales underneath to start weighing the yogurt. So it's 50 grams per serve of yogurt. I use the vanilla YoPro yogurt. So I'm going to be adding 250 grams. I'm going to add 400 mils of almond milk. I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of brown sugar per bowl. So I'm going to add 5. I'm going to add 60 grams of plain flour per bowl. So it'll be 300 grams of plain flour. It's half a teaspoon per bowl, so I'm going to add 2.5 teaspoons of baking powder. Just for a little bit of extra protein, I'm going to be adding in some vanilla protein powder. We're going to whisk that all together. I'm going to divide the batter evenly into 5 containers. I'm going to add in a tablespoon of dark chocolate chips and 1 to 2 tablespoons of frozen raspberries. So I'm going to bake these for about 20 to 25 minutes at 180 degrees. Next, I'm going to be making some ham and cheese rolls for the kids for their lunch boxes. And it literally uses 2 ingredients for the rolls and 2 ingredients for the toppings. It's super easy. The kids love it. For this, I kind of just measure with my heart, but it's pretty well, very close to one to one. So 1 cup of 1 cup, but maybe a little bit more flour. So I'm going to do 2 cups of self-raising flour, do 2.5 cups of self-raising flour, and 2 cups of Greek yogurt. I'm going to mix it first with a spatula and then I will get my hands in there. I'm also going to add in some Greek garlic just for a little bit extra flavour. Bring it all to a ball and make sure that it's all well mixed in. I'm just making these quite small. I'm just grabbing some shaved ham and just dicing it up. I'm just sprinkling that on top of the rolls. And I'm just going to top with grated cheese. I'm going to bake this in the oven for about 25 minutes or until the rolls are cooked and it's nice and golden. Next, I'm going to be making some chocolate dipped peanut butter cookies. Now these can't go to my kids' school because they're a nut-free school, but my daughter is everything peanut butter obsessed, so she's asked for these. So I'm going to be making these for her for on the weekend and after school, but it only has a couple of ingredients. So let's get stuck into it and I'll show you how to make it. So this recipe only has peanut butter, caster sugar, vanilla paste, and some eggs. So 2 cups of peanut butter, 1.5 cups of caster sugar. These certainly aren't healthy cookies, so they're just like a little bit of a treat. 2 teaspoons of vanilla and 2 eggs. Just mix that all together. And then we're gonna roll them into balls. Now you can make these as big or as small as you like. I've just changed my mind. Instead of dipping them in chocolate, I'm actually going to put some chocolate chips on top. I've never made them like that, but I think they would taste delicious. So I just made 27 cookies. So I'm going to leave some just peanut butter and some I'm just going to press in some chocolate chips. And I've gone for dark chocolate, but you can use milk chocolate as well. I'm going to bake them for 12 to 15 minutes in the oven. So far we've made most of the soup. I just have to do the end part of the soup. So I've roasted the vegetables, made the pancakes for my breakfast, made the peanut butter cookies for the kids, and also the ham and cheese rolls. So now I'm going to be moving on to making my lunch. So I'm going to be cooking the beef for the beef bowls, and I'm also going to be roasting some cubed sweet potato. So I'm going to start that. I'm also going to be hard boiling some eggs and then making some jelly and just all the quicker things now. All the bigger prep is done and I'm just doing all the smaller bits and pieces now. So I've just cubed up some sweet potato and I'm going to put some oil, salt, pepper, a little bit of paprika and some garlic on it. I'm also going to put a little bit of chili flakes on it. Just a little sprinkle of paprika. And I'm just going to roast that into the oven until they're cooked through and a little bit crispy on the sides. The kids have been loving hard-boiled eggs, so I'm just going to make quite a few for all of us, Dave and I and the 3 kids. I normally boil them for between 6 to 7 minutes. So I'm just going to heat up a little bit of olive oil, and I'm going to be cooking 800 grams of lean beef mince. So I'm just going to add in some mingle seasoning. You can add whatever seasoning you like. You can do it with what you've got at home. I've just bought this one because I like it. And I'm also going to just add in a tiny amount of tomato sauce. You can also do tomato paste. And that is done. So I finished a lot of the main cooking. I'm just getting onto a couple of snacks that are easy to make. I've never made these ones before, but I got some Organics Gutsy Gummies. So this one is mango flavored, blueberry and strawberry. I also got these cute little molds that go with it, but I'm not quite sure how many they make. So I'm just gonna do one at a time and see what happens. So I've just added 100 mils of water, and I'm adding 1/3 of a cup of the powder. And then I'm gonna add a cup of boiling water. And then I'm just gonna stir that till it's all dissolved. It actually made quite a lot, so, because this is the first time I'm trying it, I'm gonna put it in these, and then I'm thinking once they're set, I'm gonna cut them. That made a lot. So I'm gonna do the same, but I'm gonna do the mango ones. So I've got 100 mils of water, I'm gonna add 1/3 of a cup, and I'm gonna add in the hot water that was boiled. Both of these smell really good, so I'm hoping they taste delicious and the kids actually like them. You'd be able to do these with any silicone molds as well. You don't have to buy those ones. I thought they were cute. They're kind of like little fruits. And I'm gonna pop them in the fridge to set. My daughter requested grape jelly, so that's what we're having today. I just used the aeroplane jelly like low sugar. I'm gonna add 4 cups of boiling water and dissolve that. That'll go in the fridge to set. My little sous chef is gonna be joining us for the rest of the prep, which luckily is not very much. I'm just gonna finish off the soup. I'm gonna cut up some fruit and vegetables, and I think that's about it. And then I'll start packing everything away. So little sous chef Harvey is gonna come and join me. We are gonna be having a beetroot and pumpkin feta salad one of the nights this week. So I'm gonna prep the veggies for that. So I'm just gonna peel them and dice them. Then I'm gonna roast them on the night. So I'm just cutting these up into small cubes, because then what I do is I add some olive oil, salt, pepper, some herbs, and then I chuck it in a roasting tray and roast them. Then I place them on top of some baby spinach, some feta and some toasted pine nuts, and some balsamic vinegar. And that's gonna go with one of our dinners for the week. I'm not gonna cook these today, I'm just prepping them. So I'm gonna cut the beetroot pretty well the exact same size, just so they roast well together. So that is some vegetables prepped for one of the dinners. Now I'm just gonna move on to cutting up some fruit. I always cut up our fruit when I get it, so I wash our fruit and cut it all up. Just makes it so much easier when packing school lunches, snacks for the kids. It's just so easy to grab it and go, especially when you've got your hands full like I do. This is where most of our food budget went this week. Our household is such a berry loving household, and I can't wait for the punnets to be $2 again. Using good quality containers, my fruit lasts about 5 to 7 days, but all of these will be eaten before 5 days, I'm sure. So I'm just gonna finish off the soup. I bought this from Amazon not that long ago and been loving it, but for the soup, you can use an immersion blender or like a food processor, whatever you've got on hand. I'm just gonna add all the veg to the blender. All of it is nice and soft. Might have to do this in 2 parts. And depending how much vegetables I've actually used, sometimes I use 1 litre of stock and sometimes I use 1.5, just depends. I just kind of add it to the consistency that I like. So I've got 1 litre of vegetable stock. I'm just gonna add some in at the start, not all of it. Maybe about 1/2 litre. I've just got a cast iron pot there. I'm going to do the next batch. This soup could really have any vegetables in it. Whatever you've got to use up in the fridge, just chuck it in. Sweet potato would be good in here. You could even put broccoli, roasted broccoli in here. And then with the garlic I roasted, I'm just going to squeeze out the garlic. And I'm going to add the other half of the stock. So I'm just going to pour this one in too. And I'm going to add in 1 tin of coconut cream. And I'm going to mix that until it's all well combined. And here is the meal prep all finished. I'm really happy with what I got done today. So I've got my breakfast ready for the mornings. I've got some snacks for the kids here, some deli meat for their lunches. I've got some lunch prepped here for myself. I've got some more snacks here. I've got some gutsy jellies. These actually turned out really, really well. And the kids have already had a couple and they love it. So that's really a positive sign, because you know how sometimes like healthier things kids are a bit opposed to, but they love it, which is good. So that's the mango and the strawberry ones. I've got some veg prepped for tomorrow night's dinner. And I've got some more snacks and fruit for the kids and just some grab and go snacks. So nice and simple. So that is our Sunday reset all complete. Thank you so much for watching as always. And thank you for your patience while I adjust to having 4 children and also doing all my content on here. If you're not following me on Instagram, I am quite active on Instagram, so you're welcome to follow me there for kind of some daily updates as well. And here is everything all packed away in the fridge in their containers, ready for the week. I've got my breakfast here, my lunch is here. I've got the kids' snacks and different bits and pieces around there. I've got tomorrow night's dinner that I can season, put some oil on and put them in the oven to roast. I've got some of the dairy down the bottom. I've got a couple of avocados and veg in there. Otherwise, everything is very accessible, ready for school lunches and just being able to be home and just grab anything that we need when we need it. Thank you again for watching. I appreciate your support so much. If you do like this video, then please subscribe and please press the like button. Every little bit helps, and it also helps me know what you guys are interested in.